Hey everyone, welcome to Mahokenshi. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So I did a video on this a long time ago when this first came out in a demo. It's been out for a while now. So what is this game? It is basically a board game first, and a deck builder second. So we'll kind of see as we go through and just kind of show it off. I've been playing this a bit. I didn't play it initially when it first came out. I put it off till it was on sale, picked it up, and actually I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I thought I'd just do a quick mission to see if people might be interested in checking it out. So this is a game that's very heavily inspired by Japanese monsters, demons, that kind of stuff. Has a little bit of a Chinese influence as well, but it's made by a bunch of French people, so that's kind of interesting take on things a little bit. The board is not super greatly detailed, the combat isn't super greatly detailed, but the cards are cool, the art is pretty cool, so we'll just kind of go through. So I'm playing a bit, so I've been building up some meta progression between the different matches. I haven't had anybody die yet, so it's been fairly easy so far. There are a number of different characters. They all have quite different abilities and cards, which make it kind of interesting. There's a bunch of challenges. The challenges give you meta currency you can use to spend on some of these progressions and things. So we've got a bunch of progressions. Most recent one I picked up was this. So just extra strength, which just means all my cards do extra damage. And we have a few other things we picked up. More energy we use to kind of do stuff and move on the map. So yeah, pretty simple. We're going to do a little side mission here today. So we've got ambush. You fell into a trap while pursuing members of the cult. Stay alive and look for help. Basically, there's all kinds of horrible monsters and demons are being summoned into the world from some kind of crazy cult. So we're going to go ahead and just jump into this. We'll take a look at the challenges first, I guess. So complete the mission. We get some meta currency. Reach the castle without taking any damage from your pursuers. That's pretty rough. Defeat your pursuers before reaching the castle. Okay, that's probably quite doable. We'll kind of see once we get in. Haven't done this mission yet. I do have like one challenge I need to do on this past one, which certain characters are better at doing certain challenges than others. Put it that way. All right, we're going to accept the ambush. So we'll be able to gear up a little bit before we go in, pick which character we want, that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a whole aspect on the map once we get in. I guess we'll use Kaito because he's the lowest level. Haven't unlocked Masaki yet. So Ayaka has the ability to, a lot of cards give her the ability to fly, which means she can move around on the terrain regardless of what normal movement cost would be. And kind of bonuses from flying, lots of good attacks. Kaito, very defense-based, but also a lot of attacks that hit an area, but don't do necessarily a ton of damage. And then Soda is sort of moving around quickly in the shadows, getting stealth, attacking from range, poisoning enemies, that kind of stuff. I think I actually like Soda the most, but for speed on a map, you probably want Ayaka. So we're going to take Kaito here. So as far as gear goes, we have a bunch of things unlocked. We can choose up to 2 things. Initially, you don't get to do that. So I do like the kunai because we get it every 2 turns. It's basically just a free 0-cost attack card. This gives me some extra strength. We could also instead maybe go for spikes, which generally do damage back. People attack me, gaining some block for a turn. And that kind of works with this character. So I think actually instead of... Yeah, do we want spikes? Let's go ahead and grab the defense, because that's fairly quick. We can use it often and get some defense. And I've got cards that kind of boost off of defense. So, reach the castle. As you're tracking a pack of creatures from the abyssal world, you fell into their trap. They're now tracking you, and you cannot face them alone. Run from your pursuers and reach the closest castle before they catch you. Okay, that's interesting. I'm used to just kind of fighting and killing everything. So we have some options. We can kind of very clearly see the rarity of stuff. Range 2, reduce defense, and inflict vulnerability. So defense is sort of like block. Vulnerability increases damage. There's a lot of good tooltips and stuff here. But yeah, the art on the cards is very good. 8 damage, 4 weakness. 10 defense, but does cost me a couple energy to cast that. 12 damage to weakness. Kind of torn between these two. This is kind of a nice attack plus defense combo, and these cards can be upgraded as well, usually just once. This is a good single target kill. I'll take the tactical strike. And any cards like that we get immediately. This is actually a pretty big map. So we need to get there. So that's sort of an odd thing. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of big guys here. Feral Oni, able to move long distances. So we can kind of see what they do. They've got a free attack, 3 vulnerability, which means I take more damage if I have that on me. They're fairly tough. I'm sure they have basic attacks as well. If we kill them, we get some gold. So yeah, as we look at the map here, we can zoom in. This is as far as we can zoom in. So different tiles cost different movement to move across. So there's plains cost 1, forests cost 2, hills will cost you 2. In the forest, you get a bit of a defensive buff if you're there, so it kind of shows you that on a tooltip. With the hills, you get an attack bonus if you're on a hill attacking someone adjacent. So it is more about positioning and moving, and you can freely move out of combat. You just can attack guys next to you and then leave. So it's not like when you reach these guys, you go into a separate like screen and fight it out like some card game or something, or some RPGs. You fight on this map. So you take up positions, play some cards to attack, and then you can just kind of freely leave and take off. We've got a way to trigger a quest here, so we'd probably want to do that. These things, these glowing tiles here, will give you some kind of bonus, but you have to just kind of land on the tile, and then you take a free action, and you can get it, in this case, increasing the draw. Those ones will increase your health, increase your energy, all that kind of stuff. We can check out the different enemies we want to. Did we get the mountains? Yeah, so mountains cost the most to get onto, and they give you an attack and defense bonus. But we have cards, like our trusty horse. So this is safe travel, so we can use this to dash 1 tile for 1 energy, and gives me defense. So we can use this to go onto any tile. So even if it would normally cost me 3 to go on it, we can just kind of go on it immediately. So if I'm next to a mountain, we can use this to get on the mountain for 1. And there's plenty of cards. Different characters all have different abilities that they can get that will move them around a lot. Up here, we've got somebody nasty. Trooper Oni, never seen this before. Trained Oni able to withstand large amounts of damage. So when we get near enemies, they'll activate, so you can kind of see the red area. If I enter that, he'll now be aware of me, try to track me down and follow me. Normally, the castles are often quite close to the center of the maps, because at the castles you can get talismans, which are really powerful artifacts. You only get 1 of them in a mission, and they can change the way the mission plays quite a lot. We've got a lot of guys up here, so I'm assuming we get here and then something else is going to happen because there's other enemies up here and there's ways to get abilities and stuff. At villages like this, we can buy new cards, so it has kind of a red roof. These bluish green roofs are dojos, and here's where we can upgrade cards. So those are pretty important, but we need cash to do that. We're starting way down here. There's no timer on this. A lot of the missions do have time limits, so you kind of have to be rushing around. But generally, I've noticed that the cards make movement fairly easy, so it's not a big deal to kind of do that. Just looking to see if there's any like dojos or anything else down here. It looks like there really isn't. So often I'm kind of zoomed out, which means the map doesn't look great. We've got a big choke point here. So yeah, there's really nothing until we get to the castle. But if the mission ends when we get to the castle, that's kind of weird, because there's stuff past the castle. So I'm assuming something will change based on the mission we get. So I do have a couple horses we can move, but we're in plains right now, so we're just kind of fine. So we can just kind of freely move up to here. So these are cards. We move on to this, we'll get a free card. These are common cards. I don't think they ever are uncommon in them. And then, okay, so these ones over here that have the gold on them, these are rare cards that we can add to our deck. All right, we're going to use a horse. Get on top of the hill. Get to choose a card. So we have Torrential Blow, which we saw before. Golden Strike, 15 damage. Doesn't cost anything as far as energy, but does cost me gold to play. So that's kind of a new card. I haven't used that before. Armor Breaker is okay. I don't like giving up cash, because I usually end up using a lot of cash to upgrade cards later. So I'll take the Torrential Blow. So we have the combined attack defense. That's all my energy for the turn, so that's it. I could go ahead and give myself some defense for free, or add a kunai, which is a free attack card, to my hand. I don't really see a reason to necessarily. It doesn't go away, so I'll still draw it. I'm pretty sure. So we add it, it means it's in the deck and we can always get another one. So yeah, it's after we play it, it's gone, but in the meantime, it'll stay in our deck. Okay, that's fine. So we got the big guys who are going to charge after me here. Not able to quite reach me, thankfully. Enemies can sort of get in their own way of their buddies. So what was the challenge again? Reach a castle without taking any damage from your pursuers. So actually it's just these guys I don't have to take damage from. We can fight other people and take damage, that's fine. Defeat your pursuers before reaching the castle. So we could kill all of them before we can get to the castle as well. I feel like these two are going to contradict each other, so probably you have to do 2 separate runs, but the missions aren't very long, so it's kind of easy to just do a couple of them back to back. We could go ahead and very easily get another card. I think we'll just do that. Just run, keep running, building up the deck a bit, and see what we can do. So first strike. So this is if we play this card first. 8 damage, gain 8 defense. Prepared means we played other cards first. 16 damage instead, but gain no defense. So either you play this first or you play it fourth. There's no other way to play this and get much use out of it. Defensive strike, 6 damage, 8 defense. That's a much more clear-cut, easy card. But this, it's pretty easy to just play this first if we have the choice. So I think that's a little bit stronger. I'll take that. Don't really need any defense. I've got no enemies coming after me. The forest should slow them down. Didn't seem like it, though. They might be able to just move a certain number of tiles no matter what the tiles are, which would be kind of odd, but it is possible. Alright, so we have a bit of a goblin up here. So just a goblin minion. These guys are pretty weak. They're pretty standard initial enemy that you're going to see. Later there'll be goblins with ranged attacks, poison attacks. The poison ones can be pretty nasty. I don't have any cards that give me a lot of movement yet. So unfortunately, it's going to cost me quite a bit to get up here. What I'm going to do, come up here, I'm going to activate both of these guys, unfortunately. But I'm going to use my horse to get into the woods, so that's going to give me some defense. And I can easily one-shot this guy, so why not? I still have my free attack. I have a decent amount of defense. There's just one little guy coming after me. I will get another kunai mixed into my deck. And I don't think I'm going to need the defense, so we're just going to end the turn. I'm just trying to get up to activate the quest. Yeah, I don't think the terrain matters to those guys. So I had enough block there to cover that, no problem. The path forward isn't blocked, so I could just ignore this guy and just keep going. He does have a decent amount of health. That's not enough to do like a one-shot kill, which is unfortunate. But we could do a combination of these two and get a kill. So I think that's not the worst idea in the world. Attack, you're down. I'm gonna move on. We activated the other guy, but we get another card. Deal damage increased by 1 per defense you have instead of strength. So that's kind of cool. So this is a card that based off my defense, which is why the armor is quite good for him. Deal 10 damage. Unblock damage, gain 1 defense per unblock damage. That's quite good. Gain 10 defense. If I'm surrounded by at least 2 enemies, I gain 4 spikes. So spikes just mean if I get hit, I'll do some damage back. I like blood flow. That's pretty cool. Skull Bash is also pretty good. And just because it gives me some free defense, I'm just going to go ahead and use my horse to move along. So I have a ton of defense at the moment. We've got this one little goblin coming after me. I don't know if these guys can catch up and throw hits at me or not. Yes, they can. Alright, at least one. Some vulnerability, so I'll take some extra damage. But he's blocking his buddies. So taking more damage there because of the vulnerability. Okay, so they're nicely bunched up. I'd like to deal with this idiot in front of me, and we can. We've got the first strike. So let's just go ahead and nuke you. I really need some movement cards. That would be really helpful. I don't have enough movement to get up here. Let's see, it would cost me 4. So I'm just going to grab a card. I might get a movement card. Range 4, charge to an enemy, dealing damage equal to your defense. That's pretty good, but it's only targeted on an enemy. Yeah, that'll help me move forward, I think. We can just kind of target whoever. So if there's anybody in range, then it'll show me the range there by highlighted. Really, the only enemies are the guys behind me. So I want to activate this ASAP. These guys are going to catch up to me. I do have some defense. Add a kunai, not that I'm going to use it right at the moment. I could go ahead and pop this for some extra armor. I do have the vulnerability up. I don't know if these guys can move up and hit me. They have to move 3. So I'm assuming at that point that's all their energy, so all they can do is the vulnerability. But if I get enough stacks of vulnerability, that's a bit of a problem. So these will heal you, but will also get rid of any negative status effects you have on you. There's also some cards that'll get rid of negative status effects. But usually they're cards that you only get to use once, and then they're gone. Just in case, give me some armor. I don't think I'm going to need it. But just in case they can move 3 and then still hit me. Yeah, like that. So I had just enough armor to block that. Now I could start doing some damage to the front guy while I'm here. The weakness would reduce his damage, but I think I just want to prioritize getting to the quest. I've got to come back through here anyway, so let's get to the quest. Fable in the Forest. You enter a thick forest hoping to lose your pursuers. As you enter a clearing, you come face to face with 2 priests who seem to be arguing. You immediately notice their strange appearances. Despite the heavy robes they wear, one seems to be covered in fur, the other in scales. You realize that they too have been blessed by the power of the kami. The great Kappa is tireless and relentless. He would never lose a race. Nonsense! The agility and smarts of the kitsune would let it reach the moon if it so desired. They suddenly register your presence and turn to face you. Ah, perfect! Mahokenshi. Surely you can help us settle this dispute. Who do you believe would win a race between our great lords, the Kappa or the kitsune? They seem intent on your reply, and you don't think you'll be able to slip away. So, this particular character I'm playing is sort of blessed by the Kappa, so that's probably what I should go for. I'm assuming it just changes, it's scan a card and gain energy on both. I think it's just what kind of card. So we'll go Kappa, because that's kind of what kind of character I am. Scaly Priest lets out a joyful howl while the furry one looks abashed. I knew you would choose correctly, Mahokenshi. Here, accept this reward for your help and cleverness. You feel a burst of magical energy flowing through you as you receive the Kappa's blessing. You receive +1 heavy armor card and +1 base energy, so now we can do more and move further on our turns. And the card I got is a rare one. Discard your hand, gain 10 defense per discarded card. Unfortunately, it doesn't include any draw of any kind, which is too bad. So I could get a move and do some damage. And we could actually move far enough up that we could smack somebody up here if we want to just go for it and move past. And I can still follow up with some attacks, so we could kill somebody pretty easily. As a priority, what do we want to go for? The base energy would be nice, but I don't really have a good way to get through there. The draw would also be nice. So what, extra health. Strength, so increasing damage of cards. Defense would also be really good for this character. I might have to skip the energy and just go for that. Alright, let's go ahead. It'll show me where I'm going to end up, regardless of who I attack. We attack the guy in the forest, or the one on the mountain. Both of them are going to be activated by my presence. We'll just charge on up, smack one of them. I can't quite kill him. I can kill the guy on the mountain, though. So let's kill the guy on the mountain. could move into the forest. Get a card, see what we get. I'd probably go for another blood flow here. The tackle's not bad. It'll help me move around the map a lot as long as there are enemies within range for me to charge. But I think I'm going to take the blood flow. I'd rather have just some other kind of movement. There's certain ones that'll let me move and then have me do damage in an area. I might as well... Is there a point to use the kunai? I could get extra armor instead. Yeah, just give me the armor. That goblin's weak enough that I should be able to deal with the goblin without too much trouble. Next turn anyway. Gives me a ton of armor. Just got punched in the face, but that should be about it. Nope, the archer's on the move as well. So I do need to clear that guy out of the way to keep going. And I'm probably strong enough that I could start taking some people out. We could start working on like killing the pursuers if I wanted to do that. Let's see what we can do about taking this guy out. Okay, it'll take me 3 to get there, and then I can get some bonus health. Sure, let's do that. So we're going to increase my max health. Keeping some distance. So this guy's a poisoner, I think. Yeah, so these guys are pretty nasty. The poison will just keep stacking and doing damage every turn. It does reduce by 1, but if they can keep hitting you and poisoning you over and over again, it can kind of blow. I can do a little bit of damage to the poisoner, so I feel like that's probably what I should do. So even though I'm on a road here, which improves my movement, I still do have the forest cover bonus. I am going to take another shot from this guy. Oh, he didn't punch me this time, he just gave me the vulnerability. Alright. So you take that poison whether the hit only hits your health or armor, either way, you still get poisoned. Poison's a really effective way to kill off enemies, so the kind of assassin guy, character that you can play, has a lot of poison abilities. So I think I've stacked up like 45 poison on somebody once, which is pretty fun. Alright, what do we got? We can combine. We can do 11 damage and gain 11 block. I can get a lot of defense here. Alright, let's prioritize taking out the poisoner. Poison does hit your health directly, it does ignore your armor. Yeah, let's kill you off with the blood flow. Building up my cash, so I'm going to want to use that to upgrade cards later as we progress. I have enough that I can get up into the mountains with my horse card. I'd kind of like to go for the strength. The base defense, something we could definitely go for. That kind of works with this character pretty well. Let's dash up in the mountains. We activated the Goblin Warrior up here, though. He's actually pretty decent. He has an attack that will kind of ignore or reduce your defense. So he's somebody that'll be a little bit difficult to deal with. So poison hit coming through. I've got a ton of defense, so we can take some hits like a champ. And I needed it too. He was able to actually move all the way through and hit me. He's getting some damage in. And getting shot by an arrow. I've never actually died in one of these missions, so regardless of like how bad it seems sometimes, it hasn't been that difficult so far. I do have all my stuff up. We could charge that archer back there. And I could even make the damage more by increasing my defense first before we charge and slam into him with the tackle. Yeah, let's do that. I could stay where I'm at, but I want to move in on getting that bonus defense. So it's going to put me in the mountain there. That's fine. Can finish you off with a kunai. I can get down here for 3, but then I'm kind of out in the open. I think I'm going to do it, though. Even though I'm like quite close to the castle. +3 base defense. So I'll always have at least 3 armor. But then I can't really get anywhere. So I'm liable to take a bunch of hits. I'm going to add a kunai. I mean, I can move out this way, but I need to get up to the castle. So I'm just going to stay put and hope for the best. Okay, he's probably going to hit me. I haven't actually taken any health damage from those pursuing Oni, so I think we're okay on that challenge. At this point, we just want to head to the castle ASAP if I can. Didn't draw anything super useful. We did get a horse. That'll help me a lot. So let's retreat into the forest. Take the horse over the mountain. Then I can get out to the bridge, so we'll do that. Didn't activate him, surprisingly. I'll, sure, take some free defense, why not? Because they might be able to just charge through over that hill. At least one of them can come smack me in the face. So I just want to try to make sure that I don't take any damage from the Oni. Just put the vulnerability on me, so not a big deal. Alright, we're fine then. Get to the castle, and then I'm sure it's going to give me something else I need to do. Or it might be over, I'm not sure. Like, it might be like super quick then, if that's the case. So what do we have? I mean, I could do some damage. I just need 2 to get to the castle. $50 health. I mean, I can't kill him. I can do like 33 plus 5, so 38 damage would be the maximum that I can do. Let me head back to the castle first. See what happens. I'm kind of curious. Does that just end it? No. I did get the not a scratch, so I didn't take any damage from the pursuers, so that's done. The master of the island welcomes you warmly as you reach the castle. You cut his welcome short and inform him of the presence of 4 beasts rampaging on his land. He frowns and after a brief pause, formally requests that you defeat the monsters and defend the island. Rest assured you can borrow anything you need from the castle's resources to slay these beasts. You take a quick rest and start to equip yourself to purge the world of these monsters. You gain 500 gold and fully recover your health. Nice. Do I also get my artifact? So talisman, yes. So this is a free action because we're here. So these can often be quite powerful. 2 health when your hand is empty, 2 energy every 4 turns, 3 cards when you kill an enemy, interesting. Gain 1 energy after entering 2 forest tiles, that's kind of difficult. 2 strength when you have less than half of your health. I think out of these, drawing cards when you kill someone is pretty helpful, but getting the 2 energy every 4 turns is nice. There's one that you gain energy, so it's kind of random, but there's one that you gain energy every time you kill something. That one I really, really like. I think I'll go with... Oh, man, it's a little difficult. I'll take the cards when we kill something. Now, I'd really like to prioritize upgrading my cards, because I have a ton. I can get next to the tile, but I can't. Do I have to stop them? Yeah, I just miss out on a challenge if they make it to the castle, so it's not a huge deal for me to try to go and upgrade cards before I fight these guys. I could come back down and fight, but I'm going to be way more effective after I've upgraded stuff. So we'll use the horse to get through the mountain. And then this should be a clear tile. Yeah, so I can get into it and we can upgrade stuff right now. So let's upgrade cards. Okay, so I get 1 free, and then I've got 700. That means I can upgrade 8 cards if I want to. So, as a priority, when we upgrade the Safe Travels, they're now free, which is pretty amazingly awesome. If we upgrade this one, it's 13 per one we discard. The charge goes to an extra range. This goes... It's only 1 more damage? Oh, it's free. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty useful for being a free card. I like that. Can do that on both of those. Does this get cheaper? Yes, it does. That does a bunch more damage. That does a bunch more damage. So I can still upgrade 1 more card. Could upgrade a basic attack. I think we'll do the tackle. Yeah, that gives me a lot of extra range. I can move around if I need to. So we'll upgrade a boatload of cards. Yeah, I have no targets for any of this stuff, so I'm over here, so I'm assuming they'll get to the castle and then something's going to happen. Or I might just miss out on the challenge because they got to the castle. They could just run right through the castle, like it's not even there. He's going to park on top of the castle. No action taken, though. Alright. So I do have a charge. What else can we do? We could try to get some cards, but I don't have much cash. Up here, this is increasing your draw. That would be pretty nice. But we'd end up activating an outlaw and a poisoner. That's a bit much. Got energy up there. Up here we've got defense and strength. Both of those are quite nice. So here, this is a tile. You can get rid of cards if you want to. So if you have some you don't like. Alright, let's go for you. That is going to put me in the mountain, which is actually not bad. I could go for you and put me on the hill, but the mountain is a little bit better of a position, so I like that a little better. Get a little bit of a hit off. So this, I've got to play 2 more cards, then I can use that one. So let's get some more block and do some damage. I don't think I'm going to kill him here. Well, actually, 25, and then we'll do 28. Nice. So we'll kill him and get to draw cards. And I still have energy, so I'm in pretty good shape for that. Killed 1 of 4 pursuers. So I have a free movement. We can move in, and I can do some damage to the other guy. And it's all surrounded by hills, it looks like. It would be nice to get into a mountain and hit this guy, but I can't. So yeah, let's just move in. It's a free movement, so I can still do both of my attacks. That's just weakness, weakness, yeah. So we'll just do whatever I can. It is a good chunk of damage, and I'm inflicting weakness and getting armor, so I should be totally fine here, even if I'm getting hit. This Oni especially is going to be quite weak. So we can take a bit of a closer view here and see. So the models are pretty decent, but the map, I feel like it's a little... it kind of has the same thing with Armello. When you like zoom out, it sort of looks a little fuzzy. Hey, it did 2 damage to me. Well, Archer's going to get in range. Hit me as well. Nope. Yeah, being on the hills and stuff here, I'm in a pretty good position to do some damage if I can draw some decent cards. 20... Yeah, we can finish you off. I am weakened a little bit. Vulnerable a little bit. Let's just keep throwing damage your way. Although he does do less damage, but it's nice to, you know, kill somebody off if I can. 7, we can finish you off with a kunai. Draw some cards. Nice. The castle itself doesn't count as anything special, so I'm actually better off being on a hill. So if I want to stay, we stay fighting on the hill. So yeah, let's move in on the next one. Gain even more defense. Give me another kunai. I'm just going to throw a bunch of kunai at you. Don't think I need the defense or anything. So I'm just going to prioritize damage, even though I can't get a kill here. Yeah, I think I'm fine. I don't have anything else to discard, so this wouldn't actually help me, but I could use my armor. I mean, I might get hit a couple times, and then the archer would do a tiny bit of damage to me, but I'm still at full health, so I'm kind of fine. I could use it just to make sure I don't take any damage, I guess. Too bad I can't do anything. I could have repositioned and moved back into the mountain there, but I'm kind of fine holding my ground and fighting. Don't like you being in the castle, but not much I can do about it. Bunch of vulnerability, so I do take a lot more damage now. But we can one-shot you and get some cards. Okay, we play 2 more cards and we can do a ton of damage with this. So I feel like that's the best option for us. Especially when I have free cards that I can play. 36 will do how much damage? 29. It's not quite enough, so let's do some damage to you. Basic hit. Now I can kill you off with my Follow the Flow. Get even more cards. And that's it. It was the last one. I actually thought there was one more. We survived the ambush, so we finished it. We got not to scratch. We didn't get Solo Hunter because I didn't kill them before we got to the castle. And then we get XP, which will level up, which just basically unlocks additional cards and things that you might get, or artifacts, or equipment that we can use. So let's see at level 6, what do we get? So a couple items we can pick for missions. So gain 1 max health when you end your turn with 10 defense or more. That's pretty good for this character. So I've noticed some of these are really geared towards certain specific characters. Gain 7 defense when you start a turn with full health. I like this one. That's pretty good. Interesting. Interesting. So there are there's a whole card set unique to each character, which makes them a bit more unique. They don't have any inherent special abilities, but they do have a lot of cards that kind of change things. We also got 100 of the crystals, so we can use that to level with this if we want. We probably should. What do I have left over here? Additional strength on hills. All starter strike and strike plus cards deal additional damage. That's not bad. One rapid strike card to your starter deck. That's pretty good, actually. I'm going to take that because I think that's 4 damage 2 times. I don't like that. I really like the safe travel cards, so I don't know why I'd want to get rid of those. For 50, we can start working down something else. A lot of these initially just aren't that great. Over here, what do I have? Chest now of extra gold isn't bad. You can remove negative statuses at shrines for a cost, I'm sure. One rare card is discarded in the marketplace. So when you go to villages, they usually have a rare card. Yeah, I think that's decent. We can get a cheaper card. Very, very nice. We go back to missions. So we can kind of take a look. We can either look here or in the other menu. So I do have that one other challenge to do for the side mission. And I've got one challenge to do down here. But yeah, just kind of replaying missions to do the challenges is a lot of fun. Trying out the different characters is fun. Doing stuff a little differently each time. I've actually been surprised at how much I like this game. I did play the demo and thought it was okay, but it also crashed on me like every time I finished the second mission. And actually sent a message into them and they responded, which was very nice. So I kind of thought, hey, why not? I'm having fun playing this, and they were very nice when I, contacted them back when the demo came out. So yeah, let's do a little quick video and see if people might be interested. But yeah, it's a pretty good little game, and like I said, I would probably call it more of a board game plus deck builder rather than like a basic straight up card game or deck builder. It has a lot of movement stuff. There's a lot of get to this place on time, close these portals in time. That kind of stuff. So it has a lot more of that stuff where you're moving around the map to do things, which adds a bit more of a flavor to it. It makes it more like a board game, kind of like Armello is more like a board game than it is anything else, or like a dice combat game, which is also the other aspect of it. But yeah, this has been Mahokenshi. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.